Welcome to year 2024, baby. Thank you for being here. My name is Eddie, aka Eddie 1000, aka Bleh, Bleh, Bleh. So, if you haven't heard, or if you're unaware, Cat Williams has broken the internet. He has broken the internet. Now, this video is not about Cat Williams, but this is just a recap of what's going on. I'm 7 days late for my first video of 2024. But what I want to talk about right now is how our voting rights were taken away from us. Now, that might seem like a boring topic compared to what's going on with Cat Williams and, him calling out Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer for stealing jokes or for being compromised, being that the only reason they are so successful, meaning Kevin Hart, Ludacris, for being so successful is because they were compromised, meaning that, they had to do some strange things, wear a dress, do some strange things, allegedly. Now, most of us in the conspiracy circles, this is old news, but I guess, Cat Williams had to say it for it to, set in their brain or whatever. So that's good and that's entertaining, and it can be important in certain circumstances and things like that. But this video here is more about something much more important, at least more important to you as a black person or you as an American, which is the Democrats have, I say the Democrats, but ultimately it's the 8 families of the Federal Reserve and many of the Republicans and most of the Democrats. They've taken away your right to vote. And you may be asking yourself, well, how in the hell did they take away your right to vote if you can go down and vote? Well, here's the thing. It's very simple. Being that they don't require an ID to vote absentee, it basically means that any entity can vote absentee and to send in mass amounts of ballots, basically rendering your ballot invalid or cancels it out. Meaning 1 American votes and 5 non-Americans or 5 ballots that come from who knows where votes opposite of you. Or, well, I'm talking about canceling each other out. So if they vote the opposite of you, then that means that your vote has been counted and one of the 5 votes have canceled each other out. That leaves 4 possibly invalid votes that win. Okay? It's very simple. When you do not require an ID to vote absentee or to vote any type of vote, you're taking away the rights of those who are legally voting. Now, I think my example illustrates how this happens and how they have taken away your right to vote because one of your votes, assuming you are a legal American, can be washed out by other votes that are potentially not American because they didn't have an ID. They didn't require an ID. So those could be votes from Chinese nationals who are not American, who don't have American citizenship, or it can be from who knows where. Germany, Russia, Japan, like Ecuador, Venezuela. These votes can come from anywhere because they don't require an ID. And they're canceling out your legal vote. So before 1965, blacks didn't have a concrete right to vote. Now, in 2020, 2024, everybody can vote around the world because there's no ID required. Canceling out your vote as a legal American. So that's how they took your voting rights away, by giving them to non-Americans. And that's the same thing as not being able to vote, because your vote doesn't count. Your vote can be washed out by other entities, non-American entities, by just sending in absentee ballots, which is fucked up. And I talked to some of my Democratic friends and people in my circle, and they are under the impression that an ID is required to vote. I don't know what world they're living in, but they're saying that they thought that because they had to show an ID when they went down to the polling station, that everybody else that voted did the exact same thing, when in fact that's the opposite of the truth. Absentee ballots do not require an ID. And absentee ballots should require an ID. There should be a paper trail for each and every vote that says Bob Smith requested a ballot, an absentee ballot, on January the 1st of 2024. And a ballot number 123456 was mailed to Bob Smith on January the 3rd. And on February the 2nd, Bob, who asked for that ballot, sent in his ballot number 12345. So, when all the votes are counted and there's a question, we can go look at the ballot. And we don't have to know Bob's identity. We can just say, this ballot was mailed out on January the 3rd. Doesn't have to have who it was mailed to. But the system is in place to know that that ballot was sent to an American. Without that simple system being in place and having a paper trail for everything, every ballot issued, every ballot requested, then our voting system, then we have no right to vote. Simple as that. If you can't trace every ballot to see when it was sent out, and count the number of ballots that were sent out, then they've taken your right to vote away from you. Simple as that. All right. So hopefully this makes sense. If this does not make sense, leave a comment. All right. Let me know where I fucked up at. All right. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you have a great year. Hopefully commit to making videos every couple days. All right. I thank you for your time, and you have a great day.